Welcome to Not Just Parkinson's. You know who I am. I'm Jeremy Mack, joined by my good friend, the musical director of The Who and fellow Parkinson's person, Keith Levenson. What's up, Keith? It's been a while since we
Hey,
talked.
it has. Guess what?
What?
I still have Parkinson's.
Shit. So do I.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
You know,
Um,
people always ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, well, ask me today and then ask me tomorrow. You can probably get two completely different answers.
yeah, yeah. I feel like 5 weeks ago, somebody just turned a switch and made it all worse. So
So now you're in the middle. You were in the middle of producing an album, which we're going to talk about. Do you think that had anything to do with it?
possibly stress,
Yeah.
but by the time I was feeling this, the album was essentially done and mixed. I had to master it, but that wasn't. I mean, that was not a long process. Um, maybe the buildup of stress and lack of money, um, because I really spent like I was irresponsible in making this album.
Well, all musicians are inherently irresponsible. I think that's kind of
Exactly.
yeah, kind of our jumping off point. Like
Right.
who wants to, who wants to go, stand on stage and hope somebody shows up and you're pouring your heart out, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like it's very often a losing game. I've found.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on the board of an organization called Musicians for Musicians, and it's all about music being a profession, not not just a hobby. Um,
That's hard
and
to do.
yeah, we have some screaming board meetings, and and there's some there are some actual people, mostly from the jazz and indie world, who are on the board.
They would know there ain't no money in it.
Yeah,
Jazz and indie. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I found the most exciting moment of being a musician was the minute you step on stage, and the worst moment is when you step off the stage and they hand you your money, which is never enough. And uh, I mean, maybe that's overstating it a little bit, but I guess if maybe you're like the Who, which we'll talk about in a minute, I guess if you're like them, but you step off stage, but I got to tell you, those guys didn't look real happy when they got off stage. Not that I was behind the scenes, but they looked tired as hell, like 75 years old, 80 years old. Like, just give me my warm tea and let me turn on Matlock.
exactly, exactly.
By the way, our mutual friend, I was going to wear this here. He gave me this hat. Our mutual friend, Sam Wade, Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
He's actually on break from tour. So what's up, Sam? I know he's going to watch this. I actually texted him yesterday.
he's
Said,
in he's in Italy.
yeah, that dude is spoiled.
So every time he posts a beautiful picture, I make sure I respond in some snarky way.
Well, I don't know if you saw the picture of, I guess maybe it was his wife, Becky, posted the picture
Yeah.
of David, and I said, I can see his peefee. just to kind of like, poke him a little bit.
I can't believe they're married, and I can't believe I didn't get to go.
They not that they begged me to go, but it's like I would have loved to go on, but Parkinson's and a 13-year-old, it just doesn't. And an airplane does not good bedfellows. We had to have the conversation with him when we went on a plane last time. Don't say anything. He's like what? Like bomb? I'm like, no, stop it. But yeah, it was they had beautiful wedding pictures, but he's probably turning red and I'm like, oh, guys, stop talking about me now.
Probably.
So tell us a little bit about Walter Winchell.
Um,
I just read up on him. I recognize the name, but your album coming out is called Winchell, right?
yep. And it was actually produced on a Broadway stage in 1991.
Wow.
And my collaborator, Martin Charnin, he wrote Annie, among other things. and the song Tomorrow. You've probably heard that one.
Oh yeah, yeah, just a few times.
Yeah. So they gave us a 6 week workshop in the Atkinson on Broadway. And the plan was to simply stay there and open because we did preview. And then I won't mention the name of the theater owners, but their organization had two sort of executive directors whom both scalped tickets
Oh,
for their own shows.
oh,
That's a no-no.
yeah, that's
And I believe, I could be wrong about this, but they were fined a hell of a lot of money and went to jail.
this was in 91.
Yeah. Well, but by the time they figured it all out, it was January of 92.
So let
Um,
me this recording is from 91, and then you just did overdubs on
no,
it. Oh, okay,
no.
all right.
So now we're dejected and despondent, and we load out the show that we're done. The producers had a 10-year option on it, and our lawyers said, because we were like, should we fight this or go somewhere else? And he said, you shouldn't fight it. Just, if somebody else wants to do the show, let them buy the option from the producers, but don't break any rules yourself.
Now let me ask you this: when you say 10-year run or 10-year, what did you say? 10-year window?
Yeah, they had a 10-year window where they could essentially put it wherever they wanted. They could
They
put
could
it
take
on.
it on the road or keep it on Broadway or off Broadway or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. Now, how did
So,
you get involved in the making of this album?
okay, so now cut 25 years, whatever February of 2025 is. I was trying to
Yes,
figure it out last night. I can't add anymore, but it's like
I think
25.
it's 34. I don't know, 34. I'm guessing. I could be totally wrong there.
I couldn't figure out after a hell of a long time. Um, I was off the road, and I quite literally, and as a person with Parkinson's, you'll understand this, tripped over the script and the score. Every 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 last page of this. And I thought, man, there's some good tunes in this and very funny lyrics, and I should do something with it.
Now you said you wrote this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there is Keith Levenson wit all over this, from the opening to the closing. I listened to probably about 75% of the tracks, and like I was thinking, Keith had to have something to do with the lyrics in this because it's very snarky, kind of like You Can Be, and very very profane. Which I know we keep it clean on this show, but trust me, folks, as soon as the recording stops, the cussing starts. But
That's what,
I will say it. I'll bleep this out.
well, it's also who that character was.
Well, let's get into a little bit about Walter Winchell because I knew the name and I looked him up. He was a gossip columnist, but he did a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, he was a Broadway critic. After he was a gossip columnist, he became 50 million people listened to him every Sunday night. This is before Ed Sullivan, who also was on the radio.
I did not know that.
And they had a big rivalry. Winchell couldn't stand Sullivan. He promoted Josephine Baker, and then sort of got damned for not making more of a scene when she about her when he she sang at the Stork Club. Um, that got him into a lot of trouble with the liberal press, certainly.
Explain the Stork Club. Was that like the conservative club? I'm assuming.
It was like, um, well, it's kind of like the 21 Club in New York is now. Um, yes, exclusive. It's like one of those things you see out of the movies, like Frank Sinatra singing in a packed room with people with tables and drinks.
Oh, so
And
it's pretty exclusive. You got to get an invite or know somebody to get in.
yeah,
Well,
you know,
let me ask you this. One of the interesting things that I read about Walter Winchell was that he early on was very critical of Hitler when there was a lot of oh, let's just wait and see. He was like, no, and
no,
I hate Hitler and I love it anybody who takes him on. So that's very interesting to me. But then it turns out later on he went after communists.
right. Well, those were two different things to him.
Yeah,
And they were. I mean,
yeah.
communism was a decade later.
And wasn't he buddies with J. Edgar Hoover? Maybe not buddies, but he knew him. He knew him.
Yeah, they used to give stories to each other.
Stories.
Well, like Walter, I don't know if you'll name you'll remember a gangster called Louis Lepke.
He was in with Luciano and them guys, right?
Right. And he was under, you know, 40 federal counts and he wasn't turning himself in and they weren't finding him and they were looking for evidence and this is, all the way to the top with J. Edgar Hoover. Walter had a friendship with the mob.
Which is kind of dangerous thing to do, is especially if you're friend. Well, I guess the FBI, they were all kind of in bed together to some extent.
So he convinced Lepke to turn himself into Walter, and then Walter turned him into J. Edgar. And the reason it worked that way was Walter wanted the first scoop. He didn't want Hoover. He always wanted the first scoop.
Because he was a gossip columnist.
Yeah.
Or just a newspaper columnist. But I think what I read on Wikipedia, it was called gossip. But that's kind of like the who's who kind of knows,
Well,
like Us Weekly.
This is not something I'm making up. He really did invent fake news. He used
We've got too much of that, sir.
he uses that line in one of his earliest broadcasts.
You use fake news.
Yeah.
So you're saying the guy that uses it now maybe borrowed it from somebody else.
And everybody on.
Yep.
That's why, to me, it's a timely story.
Oh, sure.
Because, it's just what's happening today, and it happened 60, 70 years ago.
Now tell me about the recording process of this. You said it was recorded live on a Broadway stage?
No, now we're 20 years later.
Okay, so you're saying originally it was recorded live on a Broadway stage, but now you had to have the cast come into the studio?
There's so many different stars and non-stars. You probably don't even know who they are.
I recognize some of the voices. I would be lying if I could tell you who they were, but there were some voices I'm like, I've heard that voice somewhere before.
Well, you got Alice Cooper, you got Darling Love, Billy Idol.
I did not recognize Billy Idol. That was one I didn't get.
Roger Daltrey, John Cryer from Two and a Half Men. I'm forgetting. We had like 8 or 9 principal guest appearances, and Parkinson's is the reason why. Because when I came up with the idea of recording it now, I was like, well, I can't just record it for my own satisfaction.
Yeah.
But I can do it for the Cleveland Clinic's music therapy program.
And you can get celebrities to sign on for that.
And amazing how many of them had Parkinson's in their families or their grandparents, like it was in their lives.
I've found that to be the case where so many people either have Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or dementia or MS, and what I found, and not all Parkinson's people find this. Actually, some people have the exact opposite experience. What I find is that when you bring up Parkinson's, there's immediate sympathy, not pity usually, because I always make a joke like, yeah, went to the dentist. I'm like, I'm not shaking because I'm scared. I'm shaking because, but there is a coming together over because we all have this common, not all of us, but a lot of us have this common bond of this chronic illness, and that brings people together like very few things can, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, and some of the closest people, I can't give this away, but some of the closest people who I worked on this album with
Yep.
had Parkinson's.
Wow. Secretly.
Yes.
I mean, there's a shame and this kind of stigma that comes with this disease. And I got to be honest with you, I was ignorant when I was a kid. When I was like early 20s, I was sitting at a White Castle, if you know what, like the White Castle reference. And this guy was standing next to me, and he wouldn't sit down. He was like about 60, and he kept grabbing his coffee real weird, sipping it, and then wiggling and putting it down. And he wouldn't sit down. And I told my wife, I was like, we always get some flipping weirdo, Parkinson's. And looking back now, he probably had dyskinesia. And I don't know that, but there's like this whole thing of like you got to get people to see past the physical symptoms to realize that a lot of times we still got, like, we're still there. It's like, well, we're stuck in these bodies that don't work.
Well, sometimes I feel like when I'm late with my meds,
Yes.
I feel like I'm not there.
Well, yes. I mean,
It's not even a bad feeling.
well, I mean, there's this cognitive thing that comes with PD, and it's like your brain, it's still there, but it like switches off or goes into slow motion. And like,
Yes.
it may take us an extra minute to reach the word or conclusion that we're trying to get to, but we'll get there. It's there. Sometimes it just gets stuck.
Yeah.
I think of Ozzy Osbourne, who, God bless him, died recently. He suffered with Parkinson's for a lot longer than people knew. I think he was diagnosed in 2003. He hid it for a long time. And the way he would talk, I mean, a lot of it was alcohol and brain damage from drugs, and his accent. But there's times you watch that old show, you can see there's the shuffle, there's the tremor. And it's like, I guess no matter how big you are, no matter how big of a name you are, Michael J. Fox, Muhammad Ali, the Pope, Johnny Cash, Billy Graham, you name it, people get it.
Yeah, there are a lot of music. I keep reading now about, like Neil Diamond.
Yes.
And there was some guitarist that was in social media that got it.
Nick Jones from Foreigner, he's got Parkinson's.
Yeah.
One of the guys, I think I begin the name wrong, but one of the guys from Judas Priest has Parkinson's. The drummer for the band Mr. Big, I think he died with Parkinson's a few years back. And it's such a devastating thing for musicians. And I actually posted a video about it a couple weeks ago. It was a heartbreaking video to do. And since then, I picked up my guitar and started to play a little bit. But it steals your ability, or wants to steal your ability to be artistic and get these things, these musical ideas, and like these seeds of these creative things. It's so hard to get it out. And they get trapped in our brains like moths under like a lamp. It's just like, this Parkinson's just, it's so frustrating. And it sucks that we have this in common, but I'm glad I got to meet you.
Likewise. And we both have wives.
Yes. Fortunately. Yeah. I got real crabby with her the other day. I was having one of those cognitive moments. I ate a whole bunch of these chocolate covered mocha beans, and my brain went into like freeze, and she's trying to talk. And I was like, God damn it. Suddenly my mumbling turned into, God damn it, I'm trying to do something here. She's like, fine, I'm going shopping. I was like, oh, well, now I got to apologize, which is my least favorite thing to do. I'm sure you've had moments like that. Maybe not with the 18 mocha beans, but
no.
Don't do that.
Very little danger.
Well, they're chocolate covered, and they were sitting out, and I thought, this will perk me up. 1, 2, 18 later, I'm like, God damn! And I'm like raging like Homer Simpson. And I was like, my wife's like, what's got into you? I was like, take those mocha beans and put them somewhere where I can't get them because I've been snacking on them all morning. She goes, well, no wonder you're a raving lunatic. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but that is at some point, I think you come to the realization that this is sort of your lot in life,
Yep.
and you can choose to continue it and to keep going, or you can choose to not. And I'll tell you that the Cleveland Clinic and their music therapy department, which
Yes.
is who the proceeds of this album are going to, that's an amazing place, man. I
Really?
mean, you see people who look like they're 107 years old and can't talk, and then you put a cello in front of them, and they remember everything they've ever played.
It's like the brain is so complicated. Why does music last longer in our brains than some other things? I've seen people. I thought this video I watched years ago. This guy had horrible dementia. He could still remember the words to Heartbreak Hotel.
Well, that was like Tony Bennett.
Yes, he could. He got up on stage with Lady Gaga. He barely recognized her and then sang like an angel for like an hour.
And didn't miss any words.
Nope, nope. It's locked in there. Music locks in our brain in a way that nothing else does. So back to the album. So you got some celebrities on board. Any celebrity musicians?
Um,
Not that it matters.
no, because I did everything in the box.
Meaning,
Meaning everything, not that I'm particularly proud of this, but everything is samples.
really?
And I wrote out I have a full orchestration, and it plays back particular samples that I've chosen. Because I could have never afforded what it sounds like.
It sounds good.
With with an orchestra. So no celebrity musicians. Although there's a conductor who plays a role on the album, who's director of the National Czech Orchestra, and he's Andrea Bocelli's conductor.
Oh, I know that name.
So he's on it, but not musician players. No.
Well, it sounds great. Now, when does this come out, Keith?
The streaming version on all your digital platforms is coming out Friday, which is
That's August 29th.
Yep.
I know because I'm looking at a calendar right here. Because don't ask me what day. I can't remember what day for shit.
Yeah. And then the physical release in October.
So on Spotify and Apple Music and anywhere else, I guess all the streaming services, you probably YouTube Music.
Yeah. All of that will be Friday.
I will get the word out on my channel. Not that I'm any great spokesman or have any great following, but
Blast away. I'm asking all my friends.
well, I definitely will put it out. I'll do it. I'll do like a short video for it too. We'll put this out as a long form interview, and then I'll do like a short, like YouTube short, and say, hey, check out Keith Levenson's Winchell. So yeah, got to get it out there because it's really good. And like I said, one thing that it does not lack is humor and snark. And it was so funny to hear this not classical, but this Broadway style musical with this really zingy, punchy dialogue. Not that they don't. I mean, I've seen Chicago and some other musicals, but there's definitely some barbs in this one. And I don't mean that as in like Barbara Mandrell or Barbara Streisand. I mean like barbs, like fish hooks.
I wanted it to be like a David Mamet play.
There you go.
And the script has its share of funny and sad. I mean, the end of his life was really a tragedy.
Well, didn't he die of cancer?
Yes, but he died of cancer, but his life ended when he had then, by the end of his life, he had moved to television for a brief period of time, and the network fired him.
Didn't he do voiceovers for the Untouchables series?
He did.
I think he ultimately got fired when it was what was Parr. His last name was Parr.
Jack Parr.
Jack Parr came in and the network fired him.
And Ed Sullivan.
Wow.
In terms of entertainment. So he was really at the bottom when he died. His son also committed suicide.
Oh God.
In a motel room very close to his death.
Oh God.
We don't deal with the son in the story at all. We deal with his daughter, who also dies. So I wrote
before he does.
Yeah, when she was 10 years old.
You know, it's so interesting or tragic how some of these larger than life people in history and entertainment in particularly, but I guess we could just say all history, these larger than life people that live these big, huge lives, and behind the scenes, it's chaos, and they die, not all the time, but they die tragically or too young. We can go through the list, whether it's the 27 Club or just, actors or musicians that end up falling out of favor with popular culture or maybe whatever, and they just fade away. And that's hard. And it's like what's that Neil Young song says? That Neil Young song say, "Is it better to burn out or fade away?"
Yeah.
It's like,
or hope I die before I get old.
Yep. To quote the Who. Well, it's too late. They're already old. I mean, those guys are like 80, right?
80 and 81.
I'm very proud of the fact that these glasses right here, I think when I saw the Who, I think Roger was actually wearing some very similar glasses.
Yes, he does wear similar glasses.
And these were my wife's idea as a tribute to Ozzy. This was years ago before he got really sick. But I started noticing a lot of really cool people wear tinted glasses, Keith. So maybe you need to get some blue glasses.
I actually.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I just got a pair of Ray-Ban AI glasses.
What are those?
It's like having Alexa on your eyes.
Whoa, I need that.
So you go, Maida, what day is it?
It'll flash up.
Maida. Oh, it will video. You can just say, take a video of what I'm seeing now.
Oh, so you could do like secret shopper shit and go in and well, I'm excited for people to hear this, Keith, because it's really interesting, and I've got some friends that I'm definitely I think they'll dig it, and I'll pass it along to them, and I'll put a promo on the channel. Like I said, if you want Broadway like you've never quite heard it before, at least I have never. I mean, I haven't heard it this, not profane, but this pointed, this Barbie. You'll love it. You'll love it, and it's a really good story. I encourage people to actually get into the backstory of Walter Winchell, and maybe this will be your jumping off point for some research, because this guy led a very interesting, it sounds like tragic life, but had some ups and downs. And and on a down note, which is unfortunate, but
everybody gets old.
Yep. That's my son who's 13 now. He goes, when he was 5, he goes, I'm never going to die. Now he's like, I think I'll live to 103. I was like, good luck. Like they say, there's this thing where they say medical science has extended our lives by 10 years, but it's the 10 crappy years.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? If we could just squeeze, the events of 10 good years into like 50 or 60 and just cut it off at the 65 or 70-year-old when it's all crap, it's like
I am so with you, brother. When I get birthday cards that say, look forward to next year's trip around the sun. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I wanted to say, F you. Yeah, I mean, I'm stumbling around the sun. I'm not traveling. I'm stumbling as I go. But that's the thing about Parkinson's that I always say, when you have a good day, it's that much more special. I'm having a pretty good day today. Been having some rough days lately, but sounds like you're kind of on the maybe after this interview, Keith, maybe things will pick up for you. Maybe you'll shoot back up to the top.
I hope so.
All right, for another fantastic episode of Not Just Parkinson's, my name is Jerry Max saying peace and love from the city of St. Louis.